na no pokwa adwuma kusi Ghana na mu African Union European Union Summit ebekoso ewo Angola.
Samson Abensa Church for September we pay in affordable housing 50,000 whatever National Association of Guardian Teachers say obo nsema Ghana ban.
Openyini bi dia tudwa se galamse kono saban betumi akwa de sunkuni mu a enkrotu ahodo aban for munhye nkomonum.
Yebegina Bank of Ghana so ye na Deputy Governor Mame Matilda Asante Esiedu wasin sese udu sika kra bia dwumadie mu a Ghana de hye teniema bi ase na mmom hwe se o metumi ada won sa no
se ba bibre mpuntu a agisa monyosem ye yifiri ho hwan ne kasei
yebegina mu atoye mantamu na mantam no na anofo onumonyanfo Joseph Nelson wa pa committee nipa nkru na wom se HIV AIDS na ema na homne so e Western region dodo
ECOWAS aye ne se wo yi ekwan bi edi afri Nigeria na ba be piemu ewo Ivory Coast wo wi ebeboa ma adwadie ho nsem wa bibrem afa ne ntoma pa edi afra
National Road Safety kasama fo so de atodwa sesesen wo henkanhia akoso no pa dia okada riders no wo mu di mu ntintiman kra dodo a
na ensem bi etodwa na watwe mu de ditia to ne din 20 na 74 Ghana this week na watwe mu Ghana mampeni ka sadi to just sidi no ahode de papa Africa enampo enkofa ma hodo anim sidi no anya nimnyam
awatwukro ye mu mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to just say National Cathedral project no so wobeto aso a ebegina mpanifo nkonta obebuo so
na watwe mu mampeni ka sadi to dwa say Africa fo obo ade ne panyakopa adum ye bi papa na emu makanse hyeya ebebo ne nya so mfaso
Ghana mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to jana watwe mu say anti-LGBTQ plus bill no do obesan na mom mrahye beje ye omofo de awia
na no na nam so onumunyam for Reverend John Tim for Joka said to dwa ase emrahye beje LGBTQ plus ho kono mo twetwe mo na ase na odi hu ya ododo ugina
mampani atena yemu na watwe mu wo mo tena ase esom yem na hyehyede ne twade be wie se public tribunals bill no se wagye atum
penya na watwe mu kasa tudwa senke be ya galamse kon no ba bia kodu na watwe bia no empinifo mebo mrahye bedwafo ho amane
Catholic Bishops Conference Ghana President Gina mu kasa na watwe mu kire se ekwan ya ba yifa so kuniti galamse no wo mo foa so na obo na beti
onumunyamfo Isaac Adongo na watwe mu kasa di tudwa se anka ne sika se mo NDC MPP sen wo no NDC ba hwenhye omudi egu apono so ne Ghana enimonyam a sefata ene yensaka
afi na watwe mu 2026 akonwa sika ne nkoma wonra sebeje fie wale abato mpesa so no sebeje ni onumonyamfo Dr. Mahamat Abdul Kabiru enso de tudwa se de abayi ye eye
wei ya ne nsem bi ne tudwa na watwe mu ne ditie ena yesa kaka ye ho ya to ne di 20 na 74 Ghana this week yemfa seda ema 20 na 74 yo mi booster ni pedwa ne hia wonya bi na no ma beboa ho na yare bia no watimi adi sunkunim 20 na 74 onya bi sipunu ne tie boa papa ene yare mbekra wansa na kuwo ene efie gu ho no mo yare bia beboa ma mu bia no adi se bi ebebepie mu ofie ho no nyina ne se immune system no mo de no wo form enu nti no chese yare no mu ntimi nkuntia be ma katechie ti se wo kakare abakrum na wanya bi maame wonso fibroid ewa abeji efie ho no mo aboso enkuda ekuro beda ho ache wa ya ekuro ntimi nko amamafo nkopo ka se ase se bi ya ton wo de ama be info ne keka ho onya nya du papa ntia onya 20 na 74 na no mo ebeboa wo na sisi ni pedwa na yi wo ha obi afiri ho no mo ama wonso apomudi mu nsem no watimi adiye ewo mu na 20 na 74 de enikro nyin sensuo enti wonya bi na no mo ebeboa papa boru pharmacy herbal shop chemical shop Ghana for na nyina akwa tontina unsa ebetumi akabia kenkanfo ye me Sadat Mohammed Mene
nana ama ano tufo
afei ensem no mu nkyere mu enie African Union and European Union di nhemu sunku be hyehyɛ so wɔ Rwanda Angola brochima mu na wɔ sɛ Ghana mampanyini owura John Dramani Mahama kokosi Ghana na mu wɔ nhemu kesi yas nanso bibinti enya de mampanyini betimi akompanyinfo nso akate hɔ sɛ wɔtwe ankwa no ngoma konti Ghana mampanya bedi akyire ɔbɛnfo na gye no poko agima kwakosi Ghana na mu ɛwɔ nhemu kesi yase na nneɛma hodo kopie mu wɔ nhemu yas ɔmo hwɛ ne mu so ɔde betu dwane bi ɛne sɛ ayonkofo de bibrem ɛna nkofo aman anasa aborofo aman ntamu no ɔbɛhwɛ na wadi ho nkomo hyɛ mu kina na tumi aboa abrofo nya yen so mfaso na yen so nya won mfaso se abibifo afen so omampanyina be die kire behwe na woni mpanifo de da mahodo anu nyina na die hia na afen hye yahodo a ndc betena Ghana bedwa so wodi agu apono so abo na ne Ghana ne mafa ne topa die fira no wodi ho nkomo e de akire mpanifo e da mahodo bi o mo hwe ni mu so ko hia mpanifo de da mahodo anu obeka ne bi eye enhye ndc die agu apono so na abo na ne Ghana sidi na ho de atuma bamu no obedi ho nkomo afen so enhye abane de agu apono so bebo na nwuma ho nsem obibire ma na se Ghana atima ko yensu no omampanya be de bedi ho nkomo enhye abane de agu apono so de ba bebo na nwua no ho nsem wo Ghana atima ko ye na mpo atira free Ghana kopie mu wa African countries no so no obehwe ne wadi ho nkomo ewemu bobere ho nkomo bambo ene ho asumdwe ho nkomo nyina no omampanya be de begina Ghana na mu na wadi sansem ya tudwa ewo Rwanda wabra ogwa kopie mu ewo nhyemu kesi yase afesu nhye yahodo abane de agu apono so ba beboa na Ghana mabunu ene o man ni nyina no atimadi ye 24-hour economy omehwe ni mu so omampanya be de chensu be di ho nkomo big push initiative abane de aba no wo fa so de abo na mpuntu otima hyeta ewo Ghana for na nyina so no benfo Professor J na no pokwa jiman obehwe so obedi ho nkomo enhye yahodo ndc de agu apono so de beboa na matima tumpon Women's Development Bank so empenifo hwe ni mu so Professor J na no pokwa jiman ko si Ghana na mu a ni nyina no obedi ho nkomo na kopon eya adomo e Jordan Benada ene nhyemu eba so ewa Angola Ghana mampanya be de ekire obenfo Jane opoku ajiman penifo hwe ni mu se obekọ akokosi Ghana na mu na nsemu yi wodi atudwa na hye bibrem ene o man Ghana animonyam.
National Association of Graduate Teachers sim wata aban wachi ni wobon sema ma no sanse na no jensidi aban wasia wodi atudwa sem se beye na chechefo benya be papa de wonti ato na aboa mo wanya sundue begina suku dem a chenkwa na de yie no ogina so de affordable housing 50,000 a chance no wose wofo aban ne so no wada no ase se wadwene wo ho atwempa yate Ghana yenka bi hyemu yenimisi da so no pa yetie ne yekoso wo wiase enwomasua soafo de betu dwa se aban yi asigina yase wo hwe no aboa ama chechefo anya baabi de wonti ato na enya baabi akeke baabi a na wo yisika kuma bi a na won san soso na agya wo so timi anya sundue na wakon adwuma so akwakwakya de se de ye hwehwe wo chie mu kra de ko wie se sa adwuma de ya empanifo be de yin wo benya sika na firi tokura hodo bi mu baabi ti se District Assemblies Common Fund and afi get fund ni mu obenya bi afiri ho sanso na Ghana Social Opportunities Project ni mu obenya sika ni bi afiri ho and a Teachers Pension Fund ne so obegyina so anya sika sanso binti National Association of Graduate Teachers one president Ora Angel Kabonu say ye Angel mono de wonu senko ya sura bofo na nko bedru ye de wase soso no so no nya ba papa da na so niam ankosa na enneya Mampeni Excellency John Dramani Mahama enam ngomesua so ya so de sansam ya to dwadie wani so no wada no wase onim se wei enye gina sidi a entumi nya adwuma wei ebetuma ya adwuma pa na so de wani bedi aban no dwuma de achi se wei enkoye kasa keke
Baba bia baba boa teacher for train say boss around the aban housing or a Jumaya for be teacher for count rent war Eddie wa cry who take care for example rent a teacher for Yawo and say about providing 50,000 house I remember boy teacher for to be a train
Adesemama afi wasad na no tu mu sen achechefo bi no mu asabre wokofa teacher training colleges ahodo anya ntete na so wie wa amfimpi mienu ne aduonu miensa aban posti wo mu no demonstration na no wo mu ye no se ne ha twempa ha twin kire se wakwaji ntete awie na aban ne mfa wadwuma na se bi wo hu waketua ni na wo hu de odo obra ye de wo sra aban no adase onkeka no ho
Minister response about side demonstration and say, among common region, a be portals while we are qualified now. Register was Minister to force one announcement and say, applying Babaji recruit 2 tickets basis arrangement for the public sector. So that response is a minister demand specifically be about demonstration. And America say, Yamamu direct to say they should go to their region. It be portals now almost or when you
Adesemema nipa yekotie ni National Association of Graduate Teachers one president Ora Angel Kabonu yamane bofo Prince Bafo Samoa na nnedi nkomo yi.
Former Goodyear to enam kwampaso galamse edi Ghana nya papa penam so ama ban nai mosuko wadane de waye ne so befa sai ko so tumi abo ma yensa ase yenso ne ekwaye yatumi edi aboho ban ya nai mosuko no so ehye omudwumadi asempempen so a omomode mbo akwa koduru no Ghana fo nyina ni masem na eno na nam so a enyima hene enyima yokura wo bu no East Mantemu Obrimpon ameya wamponsem otoso mienu akasa de ato abeyanim se galamse ko ne de aman na hyase na so aban no kwantimi nko sa aban no senko betie no sufre ya so pamu a won hwe hu ne se nkrotu ahodo no galamse hu nkomo anase ne ko no wodo mu behye mu bie omu na to mu patamu na galamse fu odi omunya omu na nim oma sase no munim kwampa mo befa so de aboa se ne be na galamse to betu omo so sa eni senka aban betie won sufre ya so pamu na nkan hye ya ahodo wodo maka wanko gidi se galamse ko no ebe wie peyo papa de amaban
ban biti de America na dia na daroma nka onye dika ne se ka abamra community no naso non fra community ni nanamo na onchro mo se one de dikan galamse omutu no nsuo mu no enya ade a ebetimi aboa na nsuo yi mokoko se nsuo wia na sika na mo benya free nsuo no sa sika na so besa mo yare so ke be stress ka ban chro mo so bia free nsuo no na mum ba bia nsuo eni no aban no ma ye hyehyɛ no aban no ma kɔ ntitiem ni akyerɛkyerɛ mu no de ha bebre hwɛ de na no ye kokosi nya side na kɔ na ntwai nyanyame ena ka sojafo akoma no mo so di tuo koko gina ma ya hwere akra bebre
na no akire no ena Obrimpon ameya wamponsem otoso mienu na na kasa biem ade atodwa sei galamse fo ne de ye se bepa mo no matimi akoma yensa ase atimi agya bambo mapa gisa ban so boa na obi enwuma eno tinu factories ahodo no ma ban tena nkran ni kuma seneta krade mbie ombre nkurasen so won bie biebu ho na ade hye won nkurasen so won timi nya adwuma pa bi na won timi nye o se ne obepie mu nkrunkuma mu a emrante omo ho ode anka so mutimi bo na kua fa ne ntoma pa di fra no mu nyina na agya nkrunkuma no asawram o ba nkrunkesie mu abebo wo mbra na ekobasa no ebe ye den ni nnuano mpun sam se oman atumi afa ne ntoma pa di fra ntu gina so esra man se nnwuma so aban mo won bie e won nkrunkuma mu
baby a me free a Kentampo South anyima ya Kentampo South and North nyina nipa bebre efri hono no krom bi bebe bonsu ebi fa fom ko Libya ebi fa your friends say eba kumase be ye adwuma bi a eni kwan say ani sabe nka oye texture aban say nka nnwuma omo ye eni nyina nka ebi ntimi nko ntim kurase no bi say Kentampo South and ye nyina ye kuafo
na ne kwakra mu no ena nana esan dia pisu biom sei enkokon kitenkete nhyehyɛ na aban ne dia aba no ekoyi pa wo mani gye ho wo masom ne we mu nkyire mu no aban sa mera biem esan se kamia akosi nipa dodo na no nhye dante ase na aban boa no o kyerɛkyerɛ ma kyerɛ nipa dodo na ate ase a enkonko ba se aban a kyɛ moa no mpo ma anya bi sɛ wo te ase a wo behu sɛ wo se fata sɛ onya bi anampo wo no wonka ho
tenkiti ya odi ba isusu a ya adwuma kese pa no so eya adwuma papa ni mom education no entimi nko mpase ni yento munnim adekoro a ede ba tisana ni se san kokon ketenkete na ya de a ehun hia pa wa sa no manase bia unse ya adwuma pa ni mom communication no eche ya fise omo nkurase no se aban no so e ho so no communication no nentete ya enko no mo kese
Obrimpon ameya wamponsem otoso mienu enyima hene enyima yokura wo bu no East Mantemu ena woni Jackson edi nkoma asem yi wode etonadim
Around Matilda Asante Asiedu ye second deputy governor wo Bank of Ghana dwumadie mu wasese say wo hwe sikadwadie nhyehyɛ no mu a enema bi nyini na ekwa animu pa na titiri ye ne abefo mfidie ye wo ho nti edan kwan a ene womu a yasum womu se customers ne fa so dwen ene de wo hwe ni mo afisi kakra bia hodo ho wose se wo hwe de wiase nsakra ye bi te sen ensuyiri epe enha ewiase nipa setene mu a ne titiriu esese ye mfudie ene ye nobaye no a ya na eha atwen pa ne titiriu ni sika kra bia dwade wo kronkuma mu yenim se kronkuma no so na mfudie dwumadie koso wonye sika wode betu sika kra bia hodo wo sa kronkuma ni mu ene nti se sa ensuyiri ene aye pebre no eba mu sa no a ha sika krabia wo mu nyini pa wo gina mu kasa wo emma dwumadi abra no wodi dwa e wo sika hyehyede mu ne titiu ene wo mu a e wo kronkuma sika krabia hyehyeye mu na sa wo dwumadi ekoso dada we ne de etoso mienu e wo Framantam ma me si wo besra se de mabunu ehwehwe ene de mpanifo hwehwe wo sika krabia dwadie mu no ene sika krabia hodo ena ne wo mu nsa no ensom sa
Nearly 80% of adults now have access to financial services, but women still trail. And this gap is not just a statistic. It is a signal that many women face structural barriers that limit their economic potential. And rural banks, because of their proximity and commitment to community development, are uniquely positioned to change this reality. So this is on us as rural and community banks to do that.
Adesemaima watwanse chemu say Ghana this year sika krabia won hyehye no emuda ho na ode no kraya atwuma won mo di Bank of Ghana hyehye so na bra no wobu nkonta ede che afoforo ye customers won sika da wontia no so no won mo mani enko ho.
Weather patterns are unpredictable, floods and droughts more frequent. Food production is under pressure. Thankfully, in Ghana this year, we haven't had that. And that's part of what has contributed to the significant decline we see in our inflation numbers. But these realities also affect loan performance, client resilience, and the financial health of rural banks. But within these challenges, I believe there's also opportunity. Rural and community banks can lead Ghana's green finance agenda by supporting renewable energy solutions, climate-smart agriculture, water conservation projects, and eco-friendly rural enterprises. These investments protect the environment and create new business pathways that align with global sustainability priorities.
Enya yekoti ye Ramatilda Asante Asiedun Bank of Ghana Governor Bedi Achen Watosum Yenu. Now was Jumadi Krono Asiano. Association of Rural and Community Financial Institutions President Ora Eric Apia Associate Sesika Krabia Jumedieno and Penifosha Brano Obema Makwai. Now Mukita Penny near Dibiano Ebeboa Edi Yediaba.
As we look into the future, the association remains committed to expand capacity building programs tailored specifically for women in leadership, to advocate for gender diversity at board and executive levels, to strengthen partnerships that foster training, mentorship, and financing needs of women, to also enhance women's role in advancing financial inclusion for SMEs, for traders, for farmers, and our local households.
Mama Ora Eric Apia, President, Association of Rural and Community Financial Institutions, Ansemi, Jesse Amankwa and Ebuano.
Ankane was swafo ana ohwe nkronkuma mpuntu ne nkanko so. Openyukuro ya wasompen se sunwana West Mrasibedwani. Eye onumunyamfo kwadwo ageda ko. Na opanyini na wakasa de tudwa sei. Eba nneema hodo o man bi behia na watimi di atumpon abrabo mu Africa de Nyankopon di abro. Wadum ye bi papa panemom niaka ene hyehyeye. Endi se bibire mu mpenufo betim adwena konkan na amanyosem wo yi di afiro man kyekire ne nkanko ho a na nke yade ebebo ma mpuntu esefata ne yensa tumi aka se abibifo na African Trade Summit eba so ewo nkran ase na urumunyamfo odi sansem yi atudwa.
This vision is not a dream, it is a decision of courageous leadership. So ladies and gentlemen, we do stand at a crossroads, the continent. We can continue the old way, exporting raw materials and importing poverty, or we can choose the more difficult path, a far more rewarding path, building industries, strengthening partnerships, and empowering the private sector to lead the charge. The world will not wait for us, and we will not continue, we must continue waiting for the world. Let us seize this moment with courage and clarity. Let us build the Africa we know is possible, and Africa our children will be proud to inherit.
Ani atwago yi eye Owura Samuel Jonah dodo MC friend Sam Jonah. Na ne ka se che onumunyamfo ageda akode no so. Ena na wo kire mu. Se oba hye ya hodo ede kekere o man a wonhwe hu ni se amonyosam ne duduom no ye begugu mu kakra. Eni a nema na ye kekere ne to ho no mu a MPP NDC na matwem ho na wona wonim de wo de ye adwuma yakoba se bebo ma mpuntu esefata ne yensa tumi aka.
SSA, yes, separate our political activities, free economic activities. Yes, politicians would do policy making. Now, policy in the bar, body says implement the policy. We only give them direction, but we have more and more independent hands work because a massa, even an outsider, a Ghanaian or outsider, on funny sika embassy because when you say the sika bar, now by Sakraba.
Na ne kwakwa mu no ena opanyini no wakasa biem dia tudwa se nkronkuma mpuntuo ne nkanko betima wie peyo a ene enwuma nkuma no wose yetimi ebo akide makunna sa hodo so na Ghana fo tete omo wie mu no matima bi enwuma na ahya ase afefe no abanfo titapa entachiri na entimi ntumpon se na ebe na Ghana fo nyina so benya bibipa bi na watimi de wana brabo ayo.
The assemblies, SSA womu etimi educate nipa. Now National Commission for Civic Education, womu susu timi educate nipa. Say what the assembly can do is to create the enabling environment and sometimes empower you. Now assembly non so I have always been very much about concerned about marketing. Minhuni etia uwo baby to say gransa watermelon be buswama yetimi watermelon be 6 yadi 5 cedis.
Ankane was so for no hwen kronkuma mpuntuo ene ne nkanko aso yeso ono anso biribi atwamu na we sunya no wasim na sebedwani onumlamfo kwadwo je da kon ene wodi nsam itu dwa kalep kwadwo adey amanebo enie
Amanebo yamanebo fo apia dankwa Rock FM etia ya na so kyesem ese wudu ato yamantemu a dakru bia no enhyehyɛ de ahodo a ɛkɔso wɔ hɔ no ɛyade a ɛne enyan papa de fa HIV yade ne ho ɛwɔ hɔ na akɔ wie sɛ anya hwe kwa ne demu nipa bɛ miense akwa resabia no emu susanso ba beto dwa sɛ wo manya HIV yade no bi aka ho bi ama mantam no soafo owura Joseph Mensan ahwɛ aka wonti apam ho ɔne HIV AIDS Commission 24 na de wo mu yɛ nyina yɛ sɛsɛsɛn wɔyi nipa makoma akɔnkron wɔnimdeɛ wadwene mabɔ bio ɛwɔ yade ho a wo mu hyɛ sɛ ni nkɔmɔ nkɔfɔm mamma buru ni mpanifo ntiase de ntia yade ɛyɛ kodi awu nti wɔntwe wɔn ho firi abrabɔ bi a wɔbɔ a ɛnsɛm fata ho wohwɛ afimpi mienu ɛne aduonu nan a mpanifo yɛ nhyehyɛyɛ no wɔse nipa dodo enya yade bi ɛwɔ mantam yɛ makoma akɔ apem ɔha ɛne akyire aduonu.
The Western region, like the nation as a whole, continues to face challenges in reducing new HIV infections, eliminating stigma and discrimination, and ensuring equitable access to treatment and care for all. New HIV infections remain unacceptably high. The 2024 data from the Ghana AIDS Commission indicated that 1,120 persons were newly infected with HIV in our region.
Adesemaima Atoyama ntamu suafo owura Joseph Nelson yate ne nkanon ni agina da yawa atoyama ntamu okroye no HIV coordinator Dr. Felicia Amehen enso achemu de akwakọ wie sesesei de ama ani aye nyan pa ni nti omu nyina atwane akoto amantam ne suafo a wono so ni tumi ata wo achi asesei wate san committee ni nyina yese cases ne makoma akọ henan ene aduanan enkron HIV no ena sa wo hwe bosome nkron ye di kan wa afi mu a atweniti e wo mpotamu a kyerese yade no
With the prevalence, we have increased from the Sentinel survey. 2023 was 1.55, and then 2024 we are at Western region at 1.65. So you could see that our prevalence is increasing, and this is because you think that HIV is no longer there. So I want to use this medium to tell the youth that HIV is real. HIV is there. It's still real. It's because of good medications that we have. That is why people who have it are not having the AIDS syndrome. So we plead with the public that we should adhere to the preventive measures.
Adeshema chiami enim na sem kan wose na wasumu a udu atoye mantemu a HIV coordinator mantam ni mu Dr. Felicia Amehe ni atene kan sansa mi nyina apia dan ko Rock FM ne de som yen
ECOWAS Commission and Trademark Africa mpenifo waye ne so ba be ye kwan efre bijan kokopie mu Lagos na tumi aboa ama dwadie ewa bibirim no atumi afa ne ntoma ediefira na mpenifo chimsi nyakopon ya adom na wonda yeso itimi ba mu a ama bako enum ena kwan obenya so emfaso bi na ho akoko hia sesa ama enum yi omutimi de nhyehyɛ patimi gu apono so sa na ebe na ebeboa na obi firi ne man mu no ba betwam mu man mu akoma fufuro mu a enkonko edin bibiri emfa ma sa nipa no wo so hwe ama enum susu asa ekorido yi obenya so mfaso bi akame akose nnuane ho nsɛm no mudi ho kom enu ntine da asabo a se obi edi aduane efro man bi so ekwakopi man bi so na odu ho no mu a da asabo obeton bi wo ho no mo enti obesress ama hodo mfa hyehyɛ pom gu apono so bambo famu a ebetumi afa ne ntoma podi efra na wo kine bi no se kwan ye bietum mu efra bijan kokopie mu Lagos so a enkonkofo ye ne watimi okami bia no emfa emma penyina woje bre na nhyamu yokasa wase ma me anti-Vrelanda o kire nsemu sei.
It passes 5 countries, 5 strategic countries with major cities, and the cities are only growing. Every time I come to a city again, I see new houses, I see new apartments. That means that the citizens need food, goods, need services. Now this is passing through especially the cities that are bordering the coastal areas, isn't it? Now the vision of your presidents of ECOWAS is to make a long highway along the coast.
Any atwagu yeyi owura yere anti Vreeland na ne kasa eche no owura Kosi Midayi or principal program officer quality and standard edema ECOWAS commission openyin kasa bi na wo chirim se kwaya mpinfo so ho daye na ebefre bi jan akwa kopie mu Lagos no okokopie mu ewo yenua no mo ewo soro ho East Africa omo so okwan bi sa ebo omo papa edisi ebetumi aboa ama yenso edi soro de hu yatima ba mu abibirem ato ya wo gide se beboa ama yonkofa eda bibirem ato yentamu no atumi akoyie.
Trademark has demonstrated expertise in eastern part of the Africa, and we go there and we see from the ground what are the results they get there. That's why ECOWAS now bring along a Trademark Africa to duplicate, to harmonize based on what positive experience we saw there. From this 3 days meeting, we are expecting that as you can see, there are private sector organizations, there are public governmental agencies in the room, there are partners also, and there are experts.
Any atwagu yi owura Kosi Midayi or principal program officer quality and standard at the ECOWAS commission. And then she moved about so I see no this answer me to the Clinton Akwasiamako and a bobo amanbui ano.
National Road Safety Authority Kasama 4 year Orion Repel Dusu Secretary. Na wadi atu justice says I will share kan consciency ewa afim pimie nu ne adionunum yi a Okada riders ni hwiri kwa animu papa wase kanene ya bekasa driver phone eteka mu omo hyɛn no ene nya nkwanhyia hodo ne so afi die wase sese a wone ye kasan November busumi nko na wie ye mampanifo ntena se ensese ye die wose kokko wie nanso obetumi akade ne sese ne bo se Okada fo hwire di kan pa enu nti wo ma gina so ama National Christian Men Forum wo mo de die fa ne se Okada Day rally ahyehya so ewo Jamestown na behwe National Road Safety Authority akasa da che Okada riders say de ekeka kone de wo ma hwe ya Christmas yi enye kra
Akwanhyia akosuru bebre sani America no ama afi krapo yenya November statistics ye twemu 3000 enye asempa emma statistics are free National Road Safety kire say akwanhyia mu wuo sesi a motor riding ene leadie enya asempa pa de na akoba ne saa esan say over the years commercial motor riding abagana no ye legalize na ye regulate Ethiopia fact na opesa already no nyesika asambodi ni mu say obi abeye adwuma nyesika
Adeshemaima National Road Safety Authority kasama for a rappel Dusu Setekla. Now one kasa no achi no wodru aye Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority DVLA Deputy Director Policy Planning Monitoring and Evaluation Owura Kelvin aye Kateno one also the atu justice say one year kasen asye hwe yakoni ahyen yakoni abadie so wo man Ghana han so ayen hyehyɛ say a driver for hyen afi Okada for one na montuo ne mrebu ntwumadie ho akora no abana hu say omo bu omani agusu ntino de sakraye bi eba.
Under the leadership of President Mahama, fulfilling one of his key campaign promises, the Minister of Transport, Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikbe, has established a 13-member team to review the Road Traffic Regulation 2012 LI 2180, and this seeks to legalize and formalize the Okada industry under a clear legal framework. The review aims to create a regulated system that promotes safety, discipline, professionalism, development, while protecting the livelihoods and commercial driving rights. Under the proposed reforms of the new Okada regulations, commercial motor riders will benefit a
Adeshemama Owura Kelvin Katanom, Deputy Director Policy Plan and Monitoring Evaluation Ewo Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority Jumediemu Salsana Commander Udu Motor Traffic and Transport Unit AMTTU Assistant Superintendent of Police Medina Command Ho Openiso Adia Tubia Sen say or chair Okada riders no and Nema Baku Mienubia a yam rare boom Jumedienu Akra Wamu Diso say and Quensiana Sobete.
So who need license? Let's say who motor one, and as who motor, I have also I was a police lecturer, and as who shower or two, I was all road worthy, I was all insurance. Helmet initial with this one, within the for within the paper, problem behind the embargo. Take be crab, be get to a hospital, Ebayamana, but a pine at Tetia, Dr. Benaya, 80 brother say, who motor, helmets, it's a camp protective clothing, a binono, jackets, you have jackets that you wear. The brother say we should put on these jackets. With these jackets, auto from Kura,
Adeshemai Mani Payatin Ken, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Wanukroya, Udru Madina Police Commander, Wano, and the Damoto Traffic and Transport Unit are known. Sansamina Yamane before Caleb Kochua Day and a Buano Esumye.
Yaba Home, I was a man boy, so your bar, and send you to Jana watch Muditi, Edward Somo.
Caleb.
Peace FM.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any painting be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any painting be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
Tontonte yenum nsane e fadwen
ne e fadwen mpa say na nananum se brebi beba ama tontina 74 opa ye ne simple T74 abeye aduru
tontina 74 ana T74 asa twe yadwene asina nanom dodo so se de na dodo bua ma nanom enyare basabasa no saa na tontina 74 ana T74 ebu anipadua no
e ma immune support enti obi onum bie no abrebia ne ho den
tontina 74 yinso yaye no se nsuo krokro wa kama enti baby a wonam bia obetimi de wade akọ
samene wa ankefi na kroi eda no nko na wie ye wa bra mennom T74
samennom tontina 74 menya hodin mennom ne dabia
T74 yi eye hahama ene ye de aye na DHC na aframa na ye kama sa no T74 ahoden ni apomuden ko a
wokọ pharmacy ana baby to no bia ubenya tontina 74 yi biato
T74 yi enye ma oba wa fafuro ana obi a o manufo ana se obi a onya mfie dumienu
etu phone 050-162-8931 and 0246-073-498 FDA agi adwadien kratwe atom.
You know Christmas hits different in Ghana. The jollof is on fire, auntie is dancing in the kitchen, and everyone is fighting over the GoTV remote because GoTV is their happy place. For the women, it's enjoying the latest Aquaba magic dramas like Masasi. For the kids, it's the fun and adventure of Paw Patrol. And for the football lovers, nothing beats live Premier League action on Super Sport. This festive, GoTV is truly your happy place. Dial star 759# to stay connected. Go TV. Love it.
Yeah, nothing. No, for me. Me tea. Me membre. I want so Jimmy and me ko test here. Yes, malaria.
Oh, Kafra. And what Ruta mixture preko?
Debi.
Ah, yapa. Malaria could dear Ruta mixture. Oh, when a pebinum.
Sir, Ruta mixture no.
Yes, Ruta. Nansen gaff trap. I be draw ku abaso body ase. Wabo Ruta mixture abaso. Ruta natural products nwane Ruta mixture. Ya e de kutia e 3D. Ruta tonic and the Ruta life wa. E wuhuru e feel the body e feel
let's support the
immune system no.
Ruta natural products.
Etu malaria pebinum lepe Ruta tonic and Ruta life no be everywhere ho. Ruta de obiase ye. Etu phone 0242 662220. FDA age dwedien krato yatum.
Peace FM.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Ghana this year, I say, Sama Kenya Homayaton Kraba, na 2074 Ghana this week. And I drew so 2074 no, I am doing Pedrini here. And I could tell you what do one so, and it's a winning more. I feel now what here, and then I would tell ye. Menoka Savia Bura Pharmacy Hair Bishop Chemical should be a chum when she also pet 2074 Bebo Papa. Ama also and what Dima Pound said to make a be now. And more than we are a while on the 2074 mini papa, high blood sugar and high blood pressure. We now 2074 no more. Sako Hospital be in a quiet lab, Becca say, or pressure no aban normal. Na Chesenia, you quit the mouse and you crowd down, watch away you're going to me, come more motai and so much humano, Kakajani, Adi Dunya, we now 2074 be no pass our Ushika Kregus, our fashion could ahoto beba wo mo rebetu ama foforo timi afifi ma ho timi atɔ hepatitis B and C ekum ni papa anu odru 2074 na wutatie kasebo a apomudadwuma efo ka kire yen se HIV yare ne kɔ soro ntitiru ne nkran entimi nua mema ne mai se yare no opeso obo ho ban a 2074 se won so wanya bi dada 2074 de pe bi na nonom me hye obo se obesa kwa akoye lab ne beka to se HIV na dwane e de afuru mogam kidney yare no aba papa pe 2074 na FCC anokwan ebeboa na asanfuru kidney no mu ma ho de mapa won sa tumeka liver infection ene yemkuro osa no so no edi amanfo nya papa na pepe soup kura wontimi ndi bi osa daroma wonya 2074 na no mo a eyisa wo ho ne firi ho ma ho totumi ba prostate enlargement di mema ninya ama o mema semu mpa akofom wonya 2074 beboa wo na wo kasa enka firi no mu ba na yana no wodin mai menstrual pains no nyina no 2074 ebom papa eyisa wo ho no nyina firi ho arthritis no eno nso 2074 timi no eno ntini wie kase bo ne beje bre na 20 na yedi ho nkomo yie na ensem bi etodwa na watwu mu na Ghana mampanyini owura John Dramani Mahama di tudwa se firi so obefuro Ghana bedwa kase no hyehye pa odi egu apono so na bo masidi no enima banya papa.
A relative of mine was going to buy a car and asked for an invoice from one of the car dealers. And when the invoice came, showed it to me. And I was surprised to note that the invoice was quoted in cedis, no dollars. A few years ago, if you were going to buy a car, the invoice they'll give you is quoted in dollars. Today, people are quoting in cedis, even house rent. You want to pay in dollars, it says, no, you pay me cedis. I just want to say that the governor and all your people, your team at the Bank of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance, Bank of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance, Ghanaians are grateful to you for the management of our currency.
Ghana Mampenyi owura John Dramani Mahama na watwi mu and what this answer mu tudwa salamatu kuku apenta na dia manipoyi ebesomo yen
sanso na sa mampeni Excellency John Dramani Mahama na watwi kroya mu wanatena yem yamane bofo salamat kuku apenta boy amane ase mampeni say National Cathedral Project no so obeto aso a ebetwe enei mpanifo nkuntabu a wode befiri wan so yaba no wahunu se otu ho na mo one Ghana dis edi nkomo anase wo ye ne den.
Then there's the auditor who is asked to come and do a forensic audit. So we got a copy of the audit that had been commissioned by the Board of Trustees. And as president, I directed that a forensic audit be conducted. We want to know what happened. Before we go forward, we must know what happened.
Adeshima Ghana Mampeni Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Na watchu kroya mu no mampeni ni kasa biem edi tudwa. Se nyama hodo o mami behia no de tumpon bibrem de yakopon de abro wadom ye papa na emom ni aka ene se ye de hyehye pa ebegu apono so na ma hodo atima tumpon e wa bibrem.
Africa remains a continent rich in natural resources, but poor in global influence. We remain the custodians of the world's minerals, energy, biodiversity, and youthful population, and yet too many of our people remain unemployed, undereducated, or excluded from opportunity.
Ghana Mampenyi owura John Dramani Mahama na watwi mu ena nsem wodi tudwa salamatu kuku apenta lamane bo enie
na watwi kroya mu Mampeni Excellency John Dramani Mahama wadbekra Christian Council ba nan kwasha no wanatena yemu asisu duasen wane de ne pe na ye radio wo twen sa ene anti LGBTQ+ bill no ode ba wo be sign nemom samra shebeje fiefo ye won asede wo ho ewia.
If you want the position of my government, marriage is between man and woman. A person's gender is determined at birth, and then also that the family is the foundation of our nation. That is our position. And so there are no questions or equivocations about what we believe. I believe that we are completely aligned with the Christian Council in terms of your belief. If the Parliament of the people of Ghana endorse the bill and vote on it and pass it, and it comes to me as president, I will sign it.
Adeshima Ghana Mampeni Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Na watwi mu ena sensa utumrashe bedwani Reverend John Ntimfo Joka said it too just say anti-LGBTQ+ ho nkomo na kamia ko ese knife parliament ya honkeka empinfo didi ho nkomo na wo form na odi ho yaw pa.
It is 5 weeks from the time that Mr. Speaker gave that ruling. And since then, no attempt has been made by this House to have the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill to deal with the canker of LGBT devastating our norms and culture in this country, threaten our family values. And there seems to be a very, very conspicuous silence on this. Mr. Speaker, the House must not create the impression that what was a priority in the 8th Parliament.
Reverend John Tim Fojo, I am Rasibedjo ni demande share war Asin South. Na no su pepepe and opinion or that dom kese na no. Urumanya for Mahama Yarigan so kasa dia tuju ase abotre de so onye bi na de kozunga onye aduane pedi. Urumanya for Tim Fojo otobo na da asebo a 9th Parliament no LGBTQ+ hunkomo yebedi.
We are all very committed to the passage of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill. If you recall, a couple of weeks ago when we debated this, I was the person who insisted that the fastest way to have this passed into law is to take a position that this Parliament has already passed it. So what is left is signature.
Penya oda dom kese na no Urumanya for Mahama Yariga nini ena twegwe Manola Kwale ni William Gento na wochi modema ni poyi ebesomo yen
adeshema wo man Ghana ye gina sidia ye si yase galamse no ye hwene to ase no empanifo di nkomo me ate ase se ye hia public tribunals bill na watwi mu yama ne bofo Salamat ku kwa pencil bi amane yese mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wone na tena ye mu akotena se age atum wasign public tribunals bill no ase.
So far, we've arrested more than 1,700 people. The courts to even process these people is a problem. So many of them, we've been forced to grant them bail. And in some cases, when you go back to look for them, they've left the area. And so one of the things Cabinet did the last time was to pass the Public Tribunals Bill so that we'll push issues to do with illegal mining.
Adeshima Ghana Mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Niatini Kanu.
Na watwi mu na Urumanya for Frank anodom pre. Penyini yem Rasibedjo ni demande she won so wadu agiri. Waka se detu dwa se galamse ekuo no ba bia ehun koma kwa koduru ni nkonya ya na watwi bia no empenifo fa ho amanebo embesum Rasibedjo fie.
So okun bi ewo kwan bi so na anu ye any oka say response said ye wo pese wa tibia wo pese okoduru untibi nkodu a ese osakra wo kun in terms of tactics inji akom ni nchiremu galamsey aban bai o chese okun galamsey na sabe odi wa no bo bosia sanya no adi tuaka enne yensuo nyina ese
Urumanya for Frank anodom pre na no si bepepe ena dom kese ne ba no dani Urumanya for Mahama Yariga ono so kasa dia 2 MPP for nim say abutre ne wom okon ne de munya gide wandisi mu ye bekon adisum kunim.
I can testify that a lot of work is going on. A lot of equipment that would have aggravated the situation have been seized, excavators seized. It has become next to impossible to import excavators into this country. Next to impossible. I have been approached by even contractors, road contractors, who have legitimate road construction contracts from government, and they are having a difficulty even getting permission from government to import specifically excavators.
Urumanya for Mahama Yariga na watwi mu odi sanse mi tuja wo Rasibedjo fie Emmanuel Akwale ni William Gento na dia mane boyi ebesomo na watwi mu
adeshima ma na watwi kro yambu yankasa ya nua ya konama woni Bishop Conference President Most Reverend Matthew Akwasi Jamfidi nkomo manage to mu se omo Bishop Conference ehunu se mampani nam anamo papa so no odi ekuatia galamse na nti wo mota na wachi
Really say no. Abano ye yeah, abano ye no. Yes, now so on something to me into galamsey no. Enti no, the all ye no. You want phone question ye. Na mom ye give say the all ye no. Na bi no so be sha se be di foforo. Ni po coins as foforo so. Enti o tuni pani free ha. Ne be ko ha.
Adeshima Nipayatene came Most Reverend Matthew Akwasi Jamfi President Bishop Conference Ghana.
Na watwi mu ana Bolgatanga Central Rasibedjo ni Urumanya for Isaac Adongo ka say di tu dwa say enka ne MPP aban ene omosum Ghana sika sem ye merepa asem kontomri na so NDC ban sise pa mu di egu apono sunti Ghana sika sem ye hwe ahodi ese ba mu NDC omose fata abaso bo.
He needed to get a return that is slightly above inflation. So if inflation is 54%, it means that for somebody to give you money, you must give him 54% plus a margin to cater for a real return. So you could not borrow for less than 60% under the government that we inherited. Mr. Speaker, we also knew that the exchange rate was all over the place. For almost 8 years, we had borrowed on the market over $60 billion.
Urumanya for Isaac Adongo openyini ya Rasibedjo ni Edema de Shawbel Gatanga Central, na watching modin some YouTube job Mrasibejo fee. Emmanuel Aquale ni William Gain to Neboba Manbui anu.
Adesimama wa Mrasebejo fee na watching mum Edom Kumane ba was suma de Shaw wale abaton pesaso. Urumanya for Dr. Muhammad Tia Abdul Kabiru. What it would just say, Ora Dr. Kessel Atofonse, one NDC abayin kwenti mi nyen munyam ne mfa. Se ne economy ne hwa ya kono tizete tiwa ba yana ne mpokwa ejira hwa. MPP abinda danu etwe mu so eye bintia.
Not that anything about the debt. What has culminated to the lower debt to GDP ratio is because, Mr. Speaker, we went into a GDP program. Mr. Speaker, we had a debt standstill. Mr. Speaker, we had bilateral and multilateral debt forgiveness. Mr. Speaker, we were able to renegotiate and send most of our obligation into the future. That is what caused the debt to GDP ratio to be down.
Wale abaton pesa somno sebejani onumonyan for Dr. Muhammad Tia Abdul Kabir. Na wamra sebeje fie ho nkomo krono emwo no. Aban kasamafo yedru eye abura asebu kwaman kasian. Onumonyan for Felix kwachofo susu de tujasa he. Sese I say NDC aban ya betra so busumi du wo bo adwuma wo se omonko antimi nyen monyam no. Na no yete fa ngo so on hwan ene tu ho na montia.
Because we have been able to control the city, or I beg your pardon, the exchange rates. For 10 consecutive times, the price of fuel has dropped. Mr. Speaker, there is record before the Economic Committee of this House that up to 4,500 different items saw price reductions because of the appreciation of the Ghana cedi. And this is relief brought to the pockets of the people of Ghana.
Adesimama aban kasamafo wonu kroya wudru Abra asebu kwa mankesi ya wano ene wano ashebejani. Onumonyanfo Felix kwa achofo susansemi William Gaintu na fei. Emmanuel Akole na desumye.
Na wachimu ana Dr. Amina Adamu penyini. Waye karagam rashebejani kasa editu jasenke beya. Ejishebi ya yadebua amamu godi uru. Yanfambra omaigani yensisi yemuni intimi mwa. Na ensisi ya bayan no siya kwa babu siya bedidie. Na intimi ensi ya no kwani.
I have already described this budget as growthless and jobless. It does not offer hope to the people of Ghana. It does not offer hope to workers. It does not offer hope to teachers, not even to investors. The confidence levels in the economy is very low. And it is not we, the minority, who are saying it. Mr. Speaker, it is not the minority that is saying it. Whilst the government is in this house praising itself, investors out there are saying something different. Mr. Speaker, before the budget was presented, the government conducted 45 treasury bill options, 45. And if you want to know, one of the measures to know the confidence in an economy, it is the market, how the market responds.
Onumonyan for Dr. Amina Adam Brebi Achombu na wa fotosanfo ono anso ene mrasibedwa ni de ma de hye wo karaga ena na wachi mo de sanse mu tu je wo mrasibedwa fie Emmanuel Akole ni William Gentu ene de amane boyi ebesomo yen
na wachi mu wo mrasibedwa fie nkomo kese ekoso wo ho ya fimpimienu ene aduonu nsia kwa homasika no a bia epu ya baton pesa so mrasibedwa ni onumonyan for Richard the champion de to just send International Monetary Fund so my Ghana ye betutu mirikade ye kora akwo akopensu anasa aduane dia na echese ye da so ye niam atoroka ye ntwe ye ho famfiri ketase ne pro kankan twirim ne nya sika yes and wo my Ghana me ba ne sape sika beba ye ho.
So the airlines will be clear in our mind that if you are going to construct 30 stores, this is the money that you have to use to construct the 30 stores. So when a situation whereby they appear before committees, you give them the money, they go and the report will never come back to the house for members to see either they are getting value for money of what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, if you're able to plug all these loopholes, there is no need going to IMF to borrow money.
Adesemema wonumonyan for Richard the champion yakọ bia pu ya baton pesa sa wono ene womra sebejani Emmanuel Akole na fe William Gentu na din semi somyen
na watwi mu ana wonumonyan for Ahmed Ibrahim opinyin branda emra sebejani kasa ye editu dwa se wo hwanhyeche ya hodo aban no de egu apono so free se owura John Dramani Mahama ba ya Ghana ne ma da ne papa na NPP ntimi fa no ho entoto NDC wo kwan bia so da.
Are saying that the NDCs are the better managers of the Ghanaian economy. What is your case? Bring your marking scheme, bring your results. Even you cannot see your finance minister to bring you your results. Your answer defense are with him. Where are they? This was the second did and we are here. Mr. Speaker, not only that,
what is the meaning of Mubekao?
Mr. Speaker, you know they are good at opposition, so they will stay there for long.
Onumonyan for Ahmed Ibrahim opinyin ye bandam rasibedwani na wachi mu rasibedwa fie and what in some to Jawa Brana budget no. Wodi hu abobo Emmanuel Akole ni Ulam game to amane ball enie
Oswafo no na hwe yemfudi adwumadie so wo man Ghana ha sen won manyafo rekopoku na watwe mu de to dwa se World Bank penny for adamenti se wo man Ghana eboto ma yakufu sika $81.92 million ne yensa kana eno ankrankra bia wonkro farmer so na de amayen sen ensu hwie yefa mo ho akra
$81.92 million has been secured for agricultural inputs. This funding is provided by the World Bank under its Food System Resilience Program. Mr. Speaker, the breakdown of the fund usage, which was used exclusively to procure vital agricultural inputs, fertilizer and seeds for farmers in the drought-affected regions in Ghana, including northern regions, is as follows.
Adesemai mani petene kan yorumonyam for Eric Opoku.
Abani se ye odi egu apono so aye ne se obeyi ekwan expressway. Eni efiri nkran kokopie kumase no. Na wochimu akanko central amra se bedwani yorumonyam for Patrick Abo makasa wo ho kire mu se aban no kamia kwese onim ne awoye.
In 2025 only, deaths on the Accra-Kumasi Highway is 525 for Eastern Region, Ashanti 570, and Greater Accra 331. The Speaker, so a reasonable government will take the completion of the dualization program as a priority.
Olumunya for Patrick Yabuama, ayo Kanko Central amrasi bedwani na watwimu. What is answer me to dra e wo mrase bedwafie Manola Kwale no William game to amane ball enie
na watwi mu mrase bedwafie wudu Tamale North abaton pesa so akunya na do oteso wonu kro ya na sese ye kan ya kwantempo ho sesem dwumadi aso afa bedi achi no no onumonyafo Alhassan so hini de betu dwa se abanda da no atwa mu no wo mo de omunsa keka enema bi a antwa ya ma oman Ghana esan kitasehye ene pro kankan twiri mu a no mu di oman ntia.
Sudden awakening of conscience. They are political strategy just to evade responsibility. But I assure them that President Mahama and his government will ensure that every peswa that was wasted is retrieved where possible.
Adesimama wonumonyamfo Alhassan Suhini wono ne yakon Tamale North abaton peswa sa wosum se mrase bedwani.
Na watwi mu ena wonumonyamfo Alexander Kosiakwa openyini ka say di tu dwa say enhyehyɛ ya amane de aba eye free primary health care policy no se mpenufo anwene hu ya National Health Insurance Scheme hyehyɛ no ebetumi agu no.
As a former Deputy Minister for Health, we realized that last year, the budget made allocation for national health insurance, the tune of 10.5 billion. Everybody was happy, including the private health providers, because health insurance had not been capped like it used to be in the past. And so people were expecting that this is going to improve healthcare. The private healthcare people were going to receive their monies, and it was actually going to help generally healthcare delivery. This year, this figure has reduced to 8 billion.
Olumunyamfo Alexander Kosiakwa openyini ya achim da amrahye bedwani na watwi mu wode sansem itu dwa ewo amrahye bedwafie
na watwi mu ye dwumadie kese ayedi wa fidie so efra so the platform yenye dom kuma ne baba ko oru akotwa opon ma wone na ya kese di nkoma wo che se aban isi wo ma ye bibi kakra ma economy na gina ye ntia monye won so ma sesei wo mu twa mo fede te se konfo akoma kara ene wo se sa kwan ya wo manyen omfa toto ne maye ne wo mansan anko machi.
So Bekaya near friend abolisher general, abolisher in chief, this tax abolish, this I'm saying African Development Bank for Crampo Mano, Finance Minister of the Year. Cause structural issues ne enso oboyeno. Bibi kakra him penani na ategu. Nti se ne ya pompe dollar na se CD no aba form ya sterilization ya yiskabe 60 billion a free market no so nti sika ni kroman kofo di demand na se inflation aba single digit. Na se ya nhwa enso structural issues na emma utrimu nya de se nkofo yes is force ato is force esan se senior machere yakwa ba ABC mu
Adesima mani petene kan yedru ofonse ayebia wono ene wo mra sebedani afenso oyedom kuma ne ba wote committee aye friend sem Economic and Development Committee onumanyafo kocho opon kroma
onumanyafo Dominic Niti wenkane na woye bambo so afo akasa de tudwa se MPP breso ho mo de nsem kokopie mo mra sebedwafia na nkomo hwe sempin fo beja tumo no to remuchan de ama Ghana NDC ampene so afi abase saba na NDC ba ya NDC si remuchan omo kwa akoto eno wo se na kire sen.
Promises that you made, I've made it easy for you. If you don't have time to read the entire budget, I've made it easy for you. Go there and check. You will see all of them. Mr. Speaker, what is worse off is that my friends opposite from 2019 for 4 good years, in fact 5 good years, made help and fetish out of buying and retooling the military. Mr. Speaker, they insulted the former president, insulted my good self. Some of them, led by the foreign minister, became experts in aviation overnight. Mr. Speaker, today, you have come and under paragraph 1091, you say you want to buy 1 long-range aircraft and 1 medium-range aircraft. Mr. Speaker, even then to accept the fact that they are intending to buy VIP and executive jets, they are running away from it.
Dr. Dominic Nitiu, and I watch him what this answer me to Ja, Ewo Emresibeje.
Adesimama womra sebeje fie onkomo no kra bio damango abaton pesa somra sebeje nin wonumanyafo Samuel Abu Chinapo wonu su kitamfia na watwim watwa ban wachi papa no wose na Ghana adihye binum agentete asese wo mo twen se obefa wo mo adwumam e wo public sector wo onfa wo mo wofa binum so wontwa wo mo ka wo se wutiam sika 13.1 billion Ghana cedis akoto helicopters makoma ko 9 and after presidential jet mienu abayin tisabi ujine nipa ho.
In the circumstances we find ourselves in our country where nurses are agitating for recruitment, where arrears to nurses have not been paid, where teachers are not receiving arrears, farmers are having a raw and bad deal across the length and breadth of our country, in the farming enclaves of our country, where rice is rotting in warehouses, where maize is not being purchased, where purchasing power is low, where the workers of Ghana have been given a salary increment of just 9%, where today liquidity is not in the system and everybody is feeling very tight in terms of circulation of money in our country. Is this supposed to be the priority of our government? I leave the judgment, and we the minority, we the MPP minority, leave this judgment to you, the good and dignified people of Ghana.
Adesimama ni pa yatene kain damango abaton pesa somno asebejani oromonyamfo Samuel Abu Chinapo William Gaintu nafe Emmanuel Akole
Akan Chief Justice Mame Araba Isabasaki tokunu nemra ni oromonyamfo ni ayikoye otu na wotwum kasa ekire mu se ECOWAS court ginesia wode ba ye kire mu se Mame na nanko hwere mu de fire ECOWAS court nchen se committee na setena no mo hwe na omunsisi committee no court about ogunere unkyere say asem people na eda honom no entimi nya adwuma.
Much delay in getting the interim application because although the interim application was filed in July, on the 1st of September she was removed effectively from office. So if you are asking for stay, an interim order, then look, even this suspension will be revoked. So I continue until after the case is over.
Openyana ne atwagu lawyer ni ayikoye otu oyemradimini Edema Akan Chief Justice Mame Araba Isabasaki tokuno na watwimu odi nsemu yi atuja
na watwimu NPP amanyoko no afam Presidential Elections Committee Chairman Orumonyamfo Joseph Osewusu Joe Wise editu dwase nipa numnu a airpress obetu franka ewo NPP amanyoko ni dimu ni sesen omo di delegate abonaba wo obi afide ni enhwemu ye
register I de beto aba no ye yi nipa omgo hwehwe enko omakọ the report aba yakeke ni nyina bom eno ne de copies ama nipa ejina no ene omumugina na nemu no ya me adom si wo omgo hwem te bibi omo office o se sesa no a obo omo ense so wo mu a omeboy amane
nipa yatene kan NPP amanyoko no afam Presidential Elections Committee James Chanfo Ora Joseph Osewusu Joe Wise.
Na watwimu na Chief of Defence Staff Asrafo Pinini. Wodi Ora James Agaga eni mpinifo bia nim kokopie mo Elwax Sports Stadium Ghana for nkondo so wosom Ghana sa Asrafo mudwumadi na omhyehyeye no omkoho ekwan a yefa so akọ ediafa.
As the committee with oversight responsibility, this morning we decided that we pay a visit and to see for ourselves. Fortunately, what we have seen is very satisfactory. I mean, it's impressive. We've seen that, yes, they have now formed quite a number of centers, teams to simultaneously assess the eligibility of the applicants who are interested in joining the armed forces. We've also seen for ourselves that look, the doctors are at work, the teams that are responsible for the document.
For James Agaga, okopie mu omrasebe fia ebedeko he bambo eni efisem so no panyin eda wona no setetenani wona odi hunufo Jackson twetwe nkomo na watwumudi nsemu yi etuja
na watwimu enwumasia no aso aye opanipa wada no ne nsantrofo di nkomo kire mu sem mampani atena ye mu mpanifo age atoma masese wasan ache wo ma age ntete asa achechefa no wotifi aban fa wo madwumam no emu ma akoma empimsia no wo ha e na aban no age atum se yemfa wo
understand that some striking teachers are looking for us on the streets of Accra. And then to respond to them, that Cabinet gave approval for us to recruit some 6,100 more teachers. And therefore, that category of teachers which belong to the 2023 cohort are adequately.
Adesemama enwumasuafo no awodan wo man Ghana ye hyehyɛ dia no wonumonyafo Harina Idisu ene ete no kan wafein na watwekro ya emo no ponse adwumako no ne fa eye bonesemu enhwehwemu de beto odwasen watu anamo hu se video bi ne na Facebook owura bi efren se John Odantelam te watiasi maame bi esu se ye na yire anokwasem wo ye nhwemu kaka na kyese ye na yire wasibam ne papa pa na watwi moti su kyerɛ se owura no wakyere no nti Ghana de hyenka wakomanto wo yem. Adesemama eni ayetie eye John Odantelam tene yire no bra na oburo no oba ne tietie mu eje eye sanipa bi mra meje no maame Harriet Amuzu ene etene kan so na wotwe mu de panifo ache no wache onua mienu ka ho krampo emwode wo mu gina mra no anim
awie ena brebe makwan na akasebo anwumre de beso mu no yede nyina ABC akenkanfo ye me Sadat Mohammed mene
nana ama anotufo
kasebo na sino na ekwemu atene 2074 yendi hu nkomo na ebeboa na aboa mensoso 2074 edura ni pedua ni hia enti wonya bi esi punutie ofie ho no ebeboa na abobusuani nyina afi bia oye budget and we try sikadi ato ho no mo abofra ni be yare a we na be ko hospital sika seye pedro na ebeboa na abo afie ma osika nso ho atumi ato no 2074 na mekanfo dia ma 20 no ano say wakwa ye lab ma doctor ka che say wo mo jabro so yare bia kono ko 2074 na no na be hu ni say ampa ye waduro na ebo magani so sedie enoa ene 2074 ya na ewa no wanu maduro bia wati ni din ye wo mai mu na say wait ma bi etimentimi nkokro ne cough onya 2074 na no mo amese ma ho na sampa be hu ni say wa no ase betu ama pomudin pa won say tumi aka be hepatitis B and C ekum ni papa HIV AIDS mpo unya 2074 na no mo hepatitis B and C ubedi su enkunim HIV are na ase tretre wo magane mu be ma no busa na sade ntina tedua mu bo ha won hya wo se hwe wan de ditofin a odi ne ho no ka ho na che se o maye o madwene se o mekwa koye adwuma no kwatere kwa eno so na de yare na mo eno ntina unya 2074 na no mo a be boa wo odi yare ne se woni bia be bo ho ban yare ne so wonya bia me ka che se odo nom 2074 a HIV AIDS ase betu na sabre na covid by na ne yeni mu ya enie amanfo ko bo mpa ne ma no kropo ho yare ka sa baaye enya asem ketwa wonya 2074 na no mo covid no yetu ase yehu ama ho totimi ba kidney infections di nipa nya papa wo magane mu wonya 2074 be hohuru kidney no sa abu no mu ama ho de mapa wonsa atumi aka be liver infection eno so ekum nipa ulcer no yamkuro edi nipa nya papa onya bi na no mo eno so be boa wo yamkuro ulcer ne be firi ho ama ho to mapa atumi aba mema prostate mu yare na ma mema sem nyina ne kofom wonya 2074 na no mo be boa wo oka sani pamu an kan furo no mu ba no aya na no din wonya 2074 bedu wakagina mu na ema no so bo so mesu na ko fichira na fie gya dumu ntimi nko wontimi ma wonya 2074 na no mo no so bebo aya na amanfo keka so o ba de bo so mesu na ko fichira so te ya we normal hwe doctor for senya normal da ye wo hawo meka fo 2074 dia ma wo asma aya na wo so bo eso ehiniu wo beda obesore na wanim echen se bi kromfo ya boro no wo wanim ntima hono hono se ya nyina na enye papa bi wonya 2074 na no mo ebitima boa wo ama won so pomudi ho no afa into mapa edifra Bura Pharmacy Herbal Shop Chemical Shop Ghana for nyina kwa 2074 on sabiti makabidi do mu ana wafre mpeni for 0246 073498 0246 073498 and I say 0501 628 931 0501 628 931 we need you mekobebo ye chidom 2074 Ghana this week ye de ebesumo ye mo enitia enyado
and rip off the knob.
Peace FM.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury paint. Don't be any paint, be paint. The Lozi acrylic paint. Paint me champion. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the Lozi acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint. The Lozi acrylic paint. Paint me champion.
Se fie ni bibi akoma ne wa. Eni yen kofi. Yenko bibi eni jewo. Baby a tinke mo ding wo. Baby a cereal wo. Eni mpuse to de bia baby a ye tinisu. Yenko bibi ye betumi a kire ya adwene na ye nya sembia.
And sweet.
Baby, I didn't know my pepa sasaya sakit one. A ye ni woon. Yen coffee, baby, odo, oshe, and ye need chiwo.
But yen ho a SCV, MTN home, and our data bundles for now only account fee no any other for a mountain time and bought a one time so album. Broadband.mtn.com.gh and what my MTN app no so nasasia eneya.
MTN.
You don't say Premier League no get size, the passion, the goals, hey, it a be rough. And DSTV is giving premium customers the chance to watch a Premier League game live.